Welcome everyone, today we'll have a special guide for Seth, the new character that'll be coming to Zenless Zone 0. And oh boy, Seth is pretty interesting. So in this video, we'll be looking at leveling Seth to level 50 and also level 60 and also what are the materials that is required. And together with his core skills, passive skills, and also whether the team comes for Seth, we'll be looking into how powerful his shield can be and also what are his best weapons, what are his best relics, and what are the best teams for Seth. There's also very interesting factors to turn Seth into a hyper carry if you do get the M6 of Seth. So the 7th copy of Seth will guarantee him to have a 500% attack, guaranteed critical, and also increase critical damage by 60%. So it is possible, guys, to turn Seth into a hyper carry, and we'll be looking into how to make him work in different sets of builds and also characters, and also how powerful he can be for the new update. Now, all the information we're learning about Seth over here is actually coming from the patch 1.1 story testing mode that is available to the players in patch 1.1. So there won't be any leaks or anything that is unrelated to the official information that is displayed on the Mattjestic website and also coming from my guides over here. Now, coming over to the first part of the video. Usually for the new characters, I make an Excel and I'll provide all the information for you guys to show you what are needed to level the characters at each stage of the levels. But due to some of the feedbacks, a lot of players and also viewers just want to know how much materials and also resources needed to level 50 and also to level 60. So in order to give you a summarized version, here is what you need to get Seth to level 50 with all the skill rank to level 7 and also the rank of the talent to D for the core talent. And in comparison, below are the amount of materials that is needed to get Seth to the maximum level with maximum skills. And you can see right away there's a massive difference. This is about 1 million Dennies, this is about 3.7 million Dennies, and way more, shock talent materials and also skill materials. What I recommend is you can level Seth to level 50 if you're planning to use him as a support and maybe as a defending character. If you want to run Seth as a hyper carry, then you might want him to get level 60 for the highest attack. And later on, we'll be going through the Mattjestic guide on what are the best talents and also skills you should be prioritizing in leveling Seth. Now, as a small reference over here, in case you guys are not aware, Seth will be needing the Falling Fist from the Elite Monsters and also the Leveling Drive or the Living Drive from the Weekly Hunt. And those are the core talent materials for him for preparing for Seth for the patch to come. Now, throughout this video, we'll be learning from the Mattjestic guide for Seth. And oh boy, there's a lot of interesting notes and there's a lot of information. And I really do recommend you guys to have a quick read because this guide actually summarizes Seth very well. So what I want to do is I'll be quickly skipping to the part that will be prioritizing on the Seth core skills. If you're planning to run Seth as an anomaly supporting character for the new characters like Jen and also for future characters for the anomaly team, then going for the core skills is definitely the best way. You can also go for the assisting skills and also basic attack, which will provide him with even higher shield and higher damage. So here's the order of skill priorities if you want to be leveling for Seth. And of course, this will also enable you to run a hyper carry Seth, which we'll be talking about this very soon. Now, briefly going through Seth's core skills and also talents. So in terms of a shielding character, he will be providing a shield to the team and also the characters Seth will switch into. And this particular shield will be based on his attack. About 68% of his attack and up to 3000 points that lasts for 25 seconds. And as you get more copy of Seth, this will last for 10 more seconds, and this also provides an additional anomaly proficiency buff. This particular buff will give the character that is switched into from Seth 85 anomaly proficiency, which is very sizable. Now, in order to demonstrate Seth's abilities and also his shield, here let's have a look at one of the replays with the story mode. So here I was testing out Seth and also Jen in the story mode. So notice that after getting into Jen, my Jen is pretty low on health, and also quick switching into Seth in the assess mode, notice that here on the other side, you can see there is a quick swap into Jen. And once I quick swap into Jen, notice that there is a shield that is on Jen. And this also provides an anomaly buff that we just described over here with the passive for Seth. So this is one of the highlights for Seth, and this is why he will be a very powerful supporting character that provides a shield and also anomaly proficiency buff that increase a lot of damage with anomaly characters. Now coming from the notes from abilities, you can see that the ability for Seth to provide the shield for supporting characters is actually one of the most important factors for this character. And you can see that he can be giving a shield to allies by triggering a chain attack, or he can be using an assist follow-up and also going to chain attacks with a different character. So he can be in the form of a supporting character that switch into another character using his combos and also moves, and also you can pick which character to follow up with and then provide the shield for the next character that is switched after Seth's chain attack. So those are the two important factors to gain Seth's shield and also the anomaly proficiency increase. Now because we know Seth will be scaling the amount of the shield he provides with his attack, we can of course plan his weapons and also distribute accordingly with higher attack percentage. So if we come over to the Mattjestic guide over here, there are several weapons that are recommended and also that can be specialized for Seth. So the first weapon is of course Unlimited Bandit, that is A rank weapon for Seth that provides a lot of attack percentage. We can of course go with a Battle Pass weapon that also has attack percentage substat that also have tons of damage reduction that can be transferred onto the next character, which will ideally be one of the very powerful weapons for Seth. Now some of the recommendation is just giving him a direct weapon that doesn't even have to be on the right row, as long as he get enough attack and also attack percentage that will scale towards his shield. Because a lot of defense characters, their weapon actually don't provide enough attack percentage scaling, and for Seth, he really wants those attack percentage for the highest shield. Now in terms of the disc drive for Seth, we can go with a supporting form with a full set of the swing jazz, which will provide him and also his teammates with additional damage. Of course, we can also go with a shock start disc drive, and this will turn him into more of a stunning character. So here I have written some notes. Our choices is 2 sets of the string jazz or 2 sets of the shock star for additional dash and also impact. We can of course take and also mix with additional disc drives that provide us with additional attack percentage or lightning damage. So if you want more details, you can see the choices of different sets of disc drives for Seth. The bigger highlight for him is he wants to build towards attack percentage, flat attack, and then you can consider electric damage, energy regen, or maybe critical damage. One of the reasons we're not building critical rate is if you're getting Seth to higher copies, he will have a guaranteed critical rate or guaranteed critical hit. So if you want to build him for damage, having critical damage in the final form of Seth will turn him into a hyper carry. So briefly coming over to the mindscape of Seth, you can see that from M1 to M6, Seth will be providing additional shield with longer durations of the buff, having additional anomaly increase of anomaly buildup, and also additional skill ranks, additional dash, and finally the hyper carry comes with M6. So Seth's final attack with his basic attack will now deal 500% of his attack damage and then guaranteed critical hit with bonus critical damage. And this is one of the reasons previously we were looking at the stats for the disc drives that we want to focus on attack percentage and also high critical damage if you want to deal the highest damage using Seth and also gaining the highest shield. Now coming over to the team count for Seth. In order to enable the team count for Seth's bonus ability, which will provide the team with additional anomaly resistance reduction, and this allows the team to have increased anomaly buildup for any anomaly of any element for 20 seconds. Initially, this is by 20%, but as we get him to higher mindscape, you can get him to up to 35% increased anomaly buildup, and this is for the entire team for any element. So in order to make this work, the characters either have to be coming from the same attribute or coming from the same fraction. So briefly going through some of the potential team counts, you can see right away, Seth will be beneficial and Seth want to be with at least one anomaly character to make use of these abilities. And currently the 2 of the best existing and upcoming anomaly characters will be coming from Jen and also Grace. So this is why in the previous videos about Gen, we talk about this may be the strongest meta team because this has everything. This has additional shield, this has bonus damage for both of the offensive characters, and this allows them to trigger anomaly and also disorder damage. And if you have the final copy of Seth, he can also deal a pretty hefty amount of damage with his guaranteed crit. And the best thing about Seth is, as you can see in some of my replays, that actually doesn't require a lot of field time. The moment I switch in Seth and then the moment I switch out of Seth, my characters will be benefiting from additional buffs and also additional shield. So here I switch into Seth, and then I quick switch into the next character, and my offensive characters are benefiting from the shield and also bonus damage coming from Seth. You can see this assault and also disorder damage that is triggered. So Seth is a low field time character that can be very good with those anomaly characters and also even new anomaly characters in 1.2 to come. Now there are definitely additional notes in planning for Seth over here from the Mattjestic guide, and again guys, the links will be provided for you guys in the links below if you want to have a closer read. So we have mentioned about turning Seth into a hyper carry, and one of the best supporting characters for Seth and also for the characters with higher penetration and also higher electric damage will be coming from Reina. So this is when you are dealing additional anomaly damage from Gen and also additional direct electric damage from Seth having the Mindscape to M6. And this can be a possible team if you want to try something that is pretty special, and I wonder how powerful this is. Maybe you can one-shot for a lot of damage after having lots of penetration coming from Reina. Now in terms of a more straightforward team, and also if you don't have Grace, one of the recommended team is to run Gen with Piper and then also Seth for the additional anomaly buildup. We can of course consider a free-to-play team with Piper, Seth and also Grace. So any anomaly characters that is coming into the game or that is in the game can be great to join up with Seth for additional damage and also additional shield. So as a summary to a Seth build, and the reason I think it's amazing is you have multiple choices. You can turn Seth into a supporting character that doesn't require too much investment in skills and also leveling items. You can heavily invest into Seth and actually get the benefit of having higher damage and also stronger shield and also more utility. Now in terms of Seth's passive and also abilities, it is well-rounded and also designed towards anomaly characters and also allows himself to be a hyper carry. Future weapons for the defensive characters can be a little difficult because Seth is wanting attack percentage. And in terms of the disc drives, Seth can be a support, Seth can also be an offensive character. It really depends how you want to build him and what are the characters you have for him. And of course guys, if you're planning to go with anomaly teams for patch 1.1 and also 1.2 to come, this is the biggest focus for anomaly teams. That is going to be an essential supporting characters that keeps your teams alive and also allow them to do a lot more damage. Let us know in the comments below guys, what do you think about Seth? And after looking at the reviews for Seth and also the character kit, I'm actually pretty interested. I don't have enough summons for him and I'm definitely not getting an M6 of Seth. But if you guys wanting to play Seth, this is actually a really legitimate character to be lasting for at least patch 1.1 to patch 1.2. And he will be the centerpiece for many teams. Now similar to all of the videos, if you want to follow the notes, those will be available in the links below. And if you find my videos helpful and you want to see more future videos for ZZZ and also other games to come, make sure you subscribe to the channel and keep the notification on for the latest content.